Hey, this is Patty Negri, and you are listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hey, Mike, it is good to see you. Before we dive into the meat of the episode, and to be clear, this is not a medical show. We are not sharing personal injury history, our medical ailments, any such thing, because we have been fervently scolded when we have done that.
We've been thrashed. Not just scolded.
Yes, I know.
Cat of nine tails right on the backside.
Oh man, yeah, it gets rough. It gets rough every now and then. You know, if you can't take the heat, then you gotta get out of the kitchen, all right. But we're not going anywhere, Mike. You know, if we quit this podcast upon reading or hearing our first put down, we would have been done 15 years ago. So.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have to have been.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Yeah, and maybe
so
not quite, about 13 or 14 years, but yes.
Yeah. So where were you going with this medical?
I was going with this medical thing as insane. Do not fret. Do not fear, listeners. We are not going in that direction. But my good friend here, my co-host with the ghosts, Mr. Michael Carbonneau, it is a known fact, I believe, unless you haven't told me something, you are undergoing the knife in the not-so-distant future for a major, major, major surgery. Perhaps... shall we say, death-defying surgery?
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Just say yes, because it ties into the episode then.
Pink just had it done very recently, and I saw that on the news, and she exact same surgery, and
really?
She was smiling even when she was still in the hospital.
Well, there
after
you go.
the procedure. She was probably still, half out of it and on some kind of a, medication.
Yes, of course. So if you are curious, if you are curious what Mike is undergoing in the near future, just look up what Pink just did, because apparently it's the exact same thing. So
yeah.
There you go.
I don't know, it sounds nasty to me, but hey, it's got to be done.
But the reason I brought that up, Mike, is because to me, okay, let's hype it up. To me, this is death-defying surgery. Okay, you are going to be on the brink of of a sad, torturous death.
I see where you're going with this.
Yes, exactly. You may go over that proverbial cliff, so to speak. Hopefully
down the bright tunnel.
Yes, up the bright tunnel, sideways, up. I mean, who the heck knows which direction you're going to be
seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Seeing the light, coming back with profound illumination upon your life's work and meaning. Any number of things could come out of this.
Yes.
If you haven't figured it out, listeners, yes, we're going to be talking about a fascinating phenomenon, NDEs. Yes, Neanderthal Education Department. No. Neanderthal Department of Education. See?
There you go.
See, you get that? Yeah. No. We're talking about
Neanderthal.
We're talking about near-death experiences. Phenomenon that's been going on, and well, as far as I know, as long as medical history has been recorded, right?
I would imagine so.
People have reported seeing the light, Mike.
Possibly even carved into clay tablets so long ago.
Yes. Very, very possibly. Very, very. He just likes throwing
the
me
ancient
off.
Mesopotamian valley of near-death experiences.
Oh my gosh. You sound like you should be hosting a science program right now with that voice.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Some kind of a very dull, boring lecture in a darkened hall with a overhead projector on a stage.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to Richard Attenborough right now, and it was pretty impressive.
Well, I better stop. But go ahead.
So
you were, yes.
Other avenues we could go with this discussion too could be linked with your, in certain ways, could be linked with your prior occupation where you
Sure.
were there. You were experiencing a lot of stuff firsthand when a lot of your patients who you became very close to were transitioning in the process of transitioning to that next realm of existence.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that was pretty profound for you personally, and emotionally, I guess, on occasion. I'm not sure if you ever were brought to tears or anything, but
oh man, there were many days when I would come home and I would just break down. I mean,
oh yeah,
either from the experience that I had that day with patients or losing a patient. It happened a lot.
Yeah, I believe it.
It even made me at one point where it got so bad to where I was even questioning if it's something that I should continue doing. Thank God that I did.
Yeah, because you love that. Yeah, so there's a definite connection there. I mean, those patients that you work with, as far as you know, as far as I know, for sure, none of them experienced a quote unquote near-death experience because they all did eventually pass. But you were there during the transition, and you kind of witnessed it with your own eyes. I suppose you felt it as well.
Yeah, at least from my perspective of what I am allowed to see, I guess, and experience.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And
it was always what? Go ahead. What?
No, continue.
It was always me seeing that and realizing that they are experiencing something and they are seeing something that I can't. It's and a lot of times so obvious, even to the point where they would say that their brother was just there or whatever, who had been gone for a long time. It happened a lot. Yeah. Very often.
Yeah, that's pretty potent. That's pretty potent stuff. My minuscule mind it finds it hard to wrap around.
No big brain there, Patrick.
No big brain there for sure. I mean, I blew the NDE joke earlier today. I mean, I couldn't even say it properly. But hey, that's okay. That's
you
what
just had a couple
here.
of letters mixed around.
Yeah, that doesn't affect the meaning of the joke at all. But yeah, I think it's important that we bring that up and share some of your experiences in your prior vocation as it relates to this topic. Because again, it is absolutely fascinating, potentially profound, heavily documented. There's no denying that people experience this. So what exactly they are experiencing, well, that's up for debate. And that's kind of what we're going to do today. Not debate, we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that term better, discuss.
We will, in no uncertain terms, articulate our thoughts through our vocalization.
Wow, just like Bigfoot.
Of what we think.
Right.
Yeah. We shall beat heavy pieces of wood against trees and make whoop whoop sounds.
For slamming the toilet lid seat down
whoop,
on
whoop.
the outhouse. Whoop, whoop. Oh, there he goes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
Hey, Jerry, come and look at the lunker here. I just... funny stuff. They have a sense of
Well,
humor.
you know what? Before we get too wild and crazy here, introductions are necessary for those who may be new to the program. Believe it or not, we've been around for a while. Believe it or not, we do get new listeners from time to time.
On occasion.
And speaking of that, by the way, shout out to our new Patreon subscriber, Mike. We got a new Patreon subscriber.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely.
Whose side of the family is he on?
Really?
No, I'm just
you have
kidding.
to go that far?
Well, that's wonderful. Shout out.
They're going to go that far.
Shout it out.
Hold on, but I want to make sure
Is
that
his last name Koffenberg? Anyway, go ahead.
I'm insulted by this right now. I mean, it's like you don't think that there are potentially other Patreon subscribers out there outside of our families.
Every niece or nephew that Patrick has, when they hit a certain age, they are encouraged to join. Anyway, go ahead. It's a family tradition. Anyway, go ahead.
And by no way is Mike decimating or putting down or making fun of our Patreon page, by the way.
Because it is not. I love our Patreon
high
page.
quality content.
Exactly. And I'm just, you have to excuse me. I've taken my oxymoron or whatever it is.
Mike suffered a severe accident again the other day thanks to his dog.
Yeah. At least I'm lucky I had a titanium shoulder this time.
Oh,
I tell you, that would have shattered again. Ugh.
But
horrible.
Again,
anyway,
getting back to it, yes. Shout out to new Patreon member Emmanuel. I will not give out your last name, but thank you very much, sir. We hope you enjoy the content.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just Mike, just so you know, and I'm going to read down some other names here, okay? Because I have a whole list of stuff here. We have
awesome.
they didn't. The prior subscriber did not provide her name, but she is known as Light Soul. Before that, we have Elisa Anderson who subscribed. Of course, there's Ness Ortiz, longtime Patreon subscriber. Ness, if you're still listening out there, thank you so much. Crystal Hoover, Thomas Kaiser, Somi, so on and so forth. Jean Ellie. Oh my goodness, Patrick Marshall. Oh, good old Patrick. I wonder if you're still out there, Patrick, and so on and so forth. We love all you guys.
Fran, and Ollie.
Yes, I could go on, but I'm boring everybody to death. So.
Well, no, that's a great shout out to everybody that's past, present, and future.
Yes. And as everybody knows, well, who has been a long-time listener, my name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself, Mr. Snort and Sniff, Mike Carbonell. No, sorry, that says Scratch and Sniff. I'm sorry, but I had to throw in the snort and sniff, but yes. Yeah.
Scratch and Sniff McGillicuddy at
and
your service.
This is, of course, the Paranormal Zone, your weekly dose of all things. Hell, you guessed it, paranormal and mysterious. Yeah, I think we have a good topic lined up for tonight, and it should be a good discussion. We shall see, right?
We shall see.
You never know.
Said the blind man.
Mike,
to the death.
Have you ever had a near-death experience, Mike? Like, did you ever pass gas so bad that you almost passed out and were just like, "Oh my Lord, I died"? No, I'm kidding.
No, that's only gone as far as getting slightly dizzy.
Dizzy? That's as far as it, from your own or someone else's?
Usually my own. Depends on how much sausage I had for breakfast.
That's what you call pungent passages. Yes.
Pungent.
I like that.
Could be a new one of my new favorite words, right next to poop. Pungent and poop.
Oh Lord,
my two favorite words. But anyway,
yes, that's a great band name. That's a great That's a great '80s metal name right there. We're Pungent Poop. We'll be here all week. But enough silliness, Mike. Well, for now, this is a serious topic for sure. First, we'll dive into some of the potential, I guess, explanations, for lack thereof, of what near-death experiences may or may not be. We have some particular cases to share, brief examples, some credible stories. Some of them are absolutely, utterly fascinating, and we're just going to see where our conversation leads us. Mike, does that sound good?
Well, you know how that usually goes.
Well, right. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. The first reference I am, listen to this, talk about being redundant. The first reference I'm referring to, this is pulled from an article from the National Library of Medicine. So this is heavy duty stuff. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing 3 cases of near-death experience. Now, are these physiological? Are they based on physics, or are they perhaps based on something deeper like philosophy, spirituality? Who knows?
A cutoff of oxygen to the brain and
That too.
a
Yes.
download of an overabundance of serotonin and adrenaline
Mm-hmm. That
or
all
something.
three.
I don't know.
Correct. Out of all
Anyway.
the, I guess, required aspects of a near-death experience,
Well,
yes,
you gotta pretty much die.
right. Deprived from oxygen.
If you're gonna start with number one, you gotta go with that one.
That's what I'm saying. So, anyways, I hope neither you nor I or any of our listeners has to go through this, unless though they come back with a profound new realization on their existence. Right?
I have watched so much stuff, so many videos, and so many things. It's been like an obsession. Not quite an obsession, but very much of an interest of mine. The near-death experience. So it's like I've been
it's fascinating.
Just loading up my brain with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, there have been several documented cases of people coming back with not only an altered perception of life in general, but like an astounding new way of interpreting it. I always use this example of the man who had a near-death experience, and when he came back, he saw the world, all of everything in purely like geometric shapes, and he totally understood the universe as it is, as all being based on math. Everything just made sense to him.
Mathematics, numbers.
And it's, I'm not
3,
doing
11,
justice, but
3, 6, 9. The power of 3.
But we shall start off. I'm going to share a few examples here. Again, this is from the article shared by the National Library of Medicine. They're talking about 3 particular cases, just referred to as patient 1, patient 2, and patient 3. Patient 1, Mike, was a 30-year-old postgraduate married woman with a 5-month-old baby who had suffered a severe head injury.
The baby or the mother?
The mother.
Okay.
Who was brought to him. She just happened to have a 5-month-old baby.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So it's not a pertinent to the story.
Anything else you want to ask? She has 2 cats, too. A hamster.
And a very skinny dog in the backyard.
A very skinny dog.
By the fence. Anyway.
So after suffering this severe head injury, brought to the emergency room, she was operated on for acute subdural hematoma on the left side. She was on a ventilator for 8 days and unconscious for 2 months.
Ooh.
Now, after this, she made a gradual recovery over 1 year. During this period of unconsciousness, she described that she was, quote, in a brilliant light in which she floated. She then went to heaven, where there were a pantheon of gods.
A pantheon?
Pantheon of gods, with what she described...
Very Greek to me.
Which she described as a hierarchy. There was the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
Right.
But even they were in a hierarchy, quote, junior to Om, O-M, an apparition of light. So Om is like this overwhelming apparition of light, where this hierarchy of gods was like below Om.
Yeah. It would be like chanting Om's name when you're meditating.
Yes. Galima Shakti Day.
Galima Shakti. Was that what you said? What?
I was just quoting Indiana Jones there. Well, not Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Galima.
right.
Galima Shakti Day.
Go.
Now, she could recall what had been earlier discussed between doctors about technical matters regarding her ventilator, her endotracheal tube, and her tracheostomy. Though she was reluctant, she was then sent back by Om. Over the next 7 years. 7 years! She has slowly forgotten all of her description, but her belief has persisted. That's just example number 1. I've never heard of that particular example of the pantheon of gods.
But people do describe it, and they do see different things. And I think I think possibly that could be from, a religious background or what their beliefs have been. It could more coincide with what they see, what they would be familiar with.
For sure.
Possibly.
I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right. Is tracheostomy?
That's why I was laughing earlier.
Okay, because I said like tracheostomy.
Tracheostomy.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh
wow,
my god,
that sounds severe.
Yeah. So
I'm glad I
trust
never
me,
ran across one of those when I was in hospice.
trust me. The moment I said that, I just felt wrong. I was like, that could not have been right. But I know
10 minutes later, you have to clarify yourself and make yourself feel better. That's fine.
I do. I do feel better.
It's worth the time you're setting us back.
Hey, you just shush your face, Mr. Snort and Sniff.
You shut your face. Scratch and sniff McGillicuddy. Pee-wee Patrice.
Yes. that is I. Pee-wee Patrice.
Pee-wee. All right.
Yeah, we should start doing more high quality YouTube video content so people can see our names so they can laugh along with us, right?
Yes, Sir Laugh-a-lots. There you go.
Maybe I should call this episode Tracheostomy. Listen to Patrick pronounce tracheostomy.
It's just like when you go in and have a colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy. I love colonoscopies. We got to get deep in philosophical discussions here. I tell you that right now. Okay, anyways, patient number 2. We apologize, everybody.
Yeah.
This involved a 22-year-old graduate. Boy, they're both graduate students. Interesting.
There's a connection.
Yes.
Quit school while you still can.
Okay. Hopefully I'm not butchering this pronunciation, but this 22-year-old graduate suffering from peritonitis, right?
You got it.
Yay.
Oh, Patrick, I'm proud of you.
Had an anaphylactic reaction.
That's when your gums bleed, I think.
I know. It's like, it's nasty. It's nasty.
Not enough flossing.
22-year-old graduate suffering from peritonitis had an anaphylactic reaction leading to cardiac arrest, which lasted for over 10 minutes. He was resuscitated and recovered from this period of unconsciousness in about 36 hours. And he recovered from sepsis in about 3 weeks. Not
a good thing to have to recover from.
No. During this time of unconsciousness, he described, again, traveling in that tunnel of white light, Mike, there it is, which he described as rushing through. He felt a sense of absolute peace and calm during his cardiac arrest. He also had an OBE, an out-of-body experience, when he observed with detachment from outside the rush of medics to resuscitate him. And again, but this time it only took 3 months. He could no longer recall the details other than the light. So these first 2 examples, they both lose their memory of
I don't
these vivid experiences.
I haven't come across that. Not hardly at all in all the videos and all the things that I've been watching. But it's like I've seen stories where they will forget for a certain amount of time, like even for a few years, but then they'll come rushing back. And it's like, that was their time when they're maybe meant to share what they experienced and what information they learned and, using the things that they brought back.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but again, we've already got, just in these 2 brief examples, some of the classic telltale quote unquote signs of an NDE, the bright light, the feeling of calm, the feeling of peace. I mean, now those who don't believe in this would argue, who don't believe in the spiritual potential of this would argue and say, well, that adds to our argument that this is just more proof that it's a purely physiological thing, because most of them are experiencing these same symptoms, so to speak. So they spend the rest of their life trying to figure out how the damn brain works during these.
Yeah.
How the dying brain works, which I have a really fascinating thing to read later on as well when it comes to the functioning of a dying brain. And even if it is purely, I'm drawing a blank, purely medical in nature, just scientific again. There's also a way you can look at it. There's a way you can look at how the brain is working as there's something outside of science that is still going on in that
absolutely.
dying brain as your body is clinically dead.
That.
Yeah, there's something pretty special going on. Patient number 3, this involved a 4-year-old male. This child was brought, now 4 years old. This child was brought into hypotensive shock to emergency secondary to gastroenteritis. Okay, here's another one. Gastroenteritis. There we go.
That's pretty darn good.
Dehydration.
You got that one too.
I did. He did not have a pulse. Got that one right. And he was unconscious. Over a period of around 1 week, his sensorium improved. After extubation, he started describing his experience. I know.
Words thrown at you.
I know. He started describing his experience of being in silvery white clouds with time dilation. That's really interesting. Or expansion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Example, i.e., he felt he was there for months, although his altered senses was only for about a week.
Right. Well,
subsequently, sorry, Mike, he again forgot most of his experience. The response of family members was initially neutral and advised the child not to dwell upon his experience. So this 4-year-old felt like he was floating on these silvery clouds for months.
Yeah. Yeah, the time thing. I've seen videos about that where they've talked to that where people feel like they've been there for 15 years, like living in an entirely other existence,
entirely different existence. Yeah.
But then here it's either the minutes or maybe it might be more common if somebody's in a coma for a long, long time. Maybe that drags things out in a different kind of it's interesting. You can speculate.
You also have to,
and
for that example, you have to kind of take into perspective again that is a child's perspective, a 4-year-old.
Exactly.
Where time, a day might seem like a flipping week to a everyday average kid, anyways. Yeah. They're experiencing life in a totally different dimension than we are in a lot of ways.
Right.
Now, some common elements and stories, Mike, about near-death experiences. We have shared a couple of them already. The out-of-body experience, that's one that I always find unbelievably fascinating, where they see their own bodies. How many stories have we heard where they're floating? I've seen myself floating above my body on the operating table. I see myself being operated on. I can hear people talking. Accurate visual perceptions while out of the body. Accurate auditory perception while out of the body. The aforementioned feelings of peace and painlessness, the light phenomena, encounters with a loving white light, encounters with loved ones, a quote, life review. You hear that, you're like, oh, it's like our life passed before our eyes,
Yeah. And there's different perspectives to look at that too. The life review, it's like something that you're, if you believe in that type of thing, when you're alive, it's like you can almost fear that time when that comes, because it's like you're going to see the worst of what you've
yes, that's a good point. Yep.
But at the same time, you'll be seeing it, but you will be feeling and experiencing how every person that you hurt in some way, you'll be feeling that experience from their perspective yourself. So you'll know and you'll feel that. That's
terrifying.
I believe that. It's one of the, it's an amazing thing.
But that's a learning experience, right? If we believe that
absolutely.
This is just a current stage in our ever evolving existence, spiritual existence, you have to learn from that. You have to experience, what pain you may or may not cause others, what lack of understanding you may have had, any number of examples. You have to, to be told that. You have to be confronted with it, and you have to learn from it.
Yep. And it's also, I've seen where people describe it as when they are actually going through that life review, they're feeling more like total non-judgment and unconditional love from the being that's there, God or Jesus or,
Om.
Or Om. Yeah. But you get where I'm going.
I get what you're saying. Other people, other common elements have been described as being in another world. That's the only way they could describe it, as feeling like they're in another world, encountering other beings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could be any number of things. It could be the prior mentioned loved ones or other beings entirely.
Yeah. Other species of beings.
Other species,
and
maybe. Angels, yes. The tunnel experience.
Undercover angel. What?
Precognition. I said the tunnel experience, precognition, and so on and so forth. I find it just absolutely fascinating. I have a few other brief examples to share, Mike, and we can expound upon them and talk about them.
Expound.
Yes. This article is from magicenter.com, a blog about faith questions and answers. So since it's faith, you can kind of see where this article is probably perhaps leaning a little bit. You never know. Near-death experiences, story 1. Some of these are very short. Some of them are a little bit longer, but we'll keep it brief. This one's called Finding Dentures. In 2001, in a 2001 study by renowned cardiologist Pim Van Lommel. I like the name Pim. Maybe it's Peen. I don't know.
I think I'll call him Pim.
I shall call him Pim.
Yeah.
Yes. A man who had been in a deep...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do we need a break, Mike? Or?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Just make. Do you need computer Mike to help you along? I know. See, get it out.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
A man who had been in a deep coma later told the nurse that he recognized her. He told her that he saw where she had placed his dentures during resuscitation efforts, and then described the cart where she had placed them. Of course, Mike, they ended up being precisely where he described them, even though there would be no way in hell he would have known that. It's kind of interesting.
Unless he was floating above his body up by the ceiling.
Exactly. And he's probably screaming, "Hey, let go of my dentures."
Yeah.
I need those things. This is another very brief example. A child meets relatives. One man who had an NDE as a child recalled the experience of meeting dead relatives. Now, this is all in quotations. There were some presences there. There were some ladies. Ooh, ladies. I didn't know them at the time.
But he got to know them, I'll tell you, before that day was over. Anyway.
So again, this is a young child when he had this.
That's right.
NDE. Yeah. There were some ladies. I didn't know them at the time. They were so loving and so wonderful, and I just didn't want to come back. I didn't see any pictures of them until I was an adult. But then I said, "Oh yeah, they were my great grandmothers who had died years before I was even born."
Yeah, see, that'd be something to remember, to realize, and that you would experience that. That'd be awesome.
And the only thing that, of course, the skeptics will say, well, maybe he, even as a 5-year-old kid, mom showed him pictures, grandma showed him pictures of great grandma, whatever. And,
yeah, well,
and so it's embedded in his subconscious, and so during this near-death experience, well, yeah, those visuals pop up. That's what a skeptic would tell you.
Yeah.
But he's interpreting, he's looking at these quote unquote pictures, these snapshots in time as a full-fledged experience and interaction with these loving, caring, wonderful people.
Mhm.
We had no idea who they were during that experience. No idea. It was only until you saw the pictures later on.
Right.
The life review. Often, Mike, people relay their near-death experiences as a review of their lives. Though life review experiences can't be deemed scientifically, I don't even want to say that word. Why are they throwing all these words out at me? I'm paranoid. I'm going to butcher them all now. Scientifically verified. I'll just say verified. That's not the word, but that's what it means. They are worth noting. They can have a profound effect on the experiencer and sometimes cause them to re-examine their life and their morals. Yeah, we kind of touched on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This is an example of one NDE patient. When this NDE patient realized that collision was imminent, the patient said that time seemed to slow down as he hit his brakes and went into an uncontrolled slide. Then he seemed to pop out of his body. While in this state, he had a life review, which consisted of brief pictures, flashes of his life. His car then struck this truck. The truck bed crashed through his window, causing multiple injuries to his head and chest. Medical reports show that he was in a coma and, in fact, nearly died. Yet he had a vivid sensation of leaving his physical body and entering into darkness. He had the feeling of moving up through a dark tunnel toward a point of light. Suddenly, a being, quote, filled with love and light, appeared to him. Now he had a second life review, one guided by this being of light. He felt bathed in love and compassion as he reviewed the moral choices he had made in his lifetime. He suddenly understood that he was an important part of the universe and that his life indeed had a purpose. Interesting.
Yeah, very.
Time slowing down the moment he felt death was imminent. So I'm assuming he's still conscious at this point because he sees the truck that he's about to hit. But time slowed down for him. And he had his first out-of-body experience then, where he had his first life review before even striking this truck. And then when he's knocked unconscious and nearly dies, he has the second light review after traveling through the dark tunnel and is encountered by this being of light and compassion and love. I can't wrap my mind around that one. I mean, there's two separate life reviews that's going on there. Like
two different stages of that experience that you had to go through.
Is that first experience where time felt to slow down for him? What popped in my brain was that some sort of protective moment that was some higher power was bestowing upon him right then. I mean, time doesn't exist, obviously, to the spiritual realm or the Almighty, the God, so to speak. That first moment where the time was slowing down. What? God darn it! I'm getting all deep, and then I say sliming down. Yeah, I agree, Mike's stomach. What do you say about that one? You kind of hear what I'm get where I'm going with that one a little bit. Mike?
I do. Yeah,
kind of just a wee little bit, a wee tad little bit.
I mean, you're right. Yes.
God's there, and He's like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
We're going to. You're not going to experience this full-fledged, terrifying, head-on collision. I'm here. I'm going to slow it down for you, and I'm going to let you think about stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like a preparation, like a easing into it.
I like that, and easing into it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This experience is just labeled traveling through walls. Some experiencers, Mike, report stories of out-of-body experiences, including traveling through walls to the waiting room where they see their relatives and friends.
Yeah, I have seen that.
One patient reported traveling through a wall and seeing her young daughter wearing mismatched plaids, which was highly unusual. Another woman traveled through a wall and overheard her brother-in-law in the hospital waiting room talking to a business associate in a very derogatory manner. She was able to report this back to him later, which he verified. So what's this traveling through wall stuff? That's really, really intriguing. They're just, the spirit is
it's
just
free.
moving from, it's free. I mean, there's no limits. There's no restrictions.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like if you're not automatically sucked into that void or, or the tunnel or whatever, maybe it was part of that deal where you're going to be able to roam around a little bit, just
right.
have that experience.
Take a little tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
See where your grumpy uncle is, what he's up to in the waiting room, And, something tells me that if I had an experience like that and I was aware of it, I would immediately go to the people that I felt badmouth me. I'd be like, what do these guys have to say about me now?
Well,
kind of along the same lines of, have you ever wanted to be the fly on the wall at your own funeral type thing?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I've always said when I die, the first thing I'm going to do is come and slap you in the face. That's my plan.
And I appreciate that. I do. Just at least, do it when I'm not in a public setting or I'm not working, and not like when I'm waking up middle of the night at 3:00 in the morning to go to the bathroom. Don't do it then either. Just pick the proper moment.
You hear something behind the shower curtain or whatever, and then you open it up and there I am in this misty form with my face on it.
It's Casper. Oh no. Yeah. What's he doing here? He's ready to slap me. No. Yeah. And also don't whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
I got feeling for you.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
no problem there.
Okay.
No, I'll get as close as I can. I'll go, get out.
There you go. Or get super, super close and just scream.
Ow!
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, you'll know it's me then.
I'll definitely know it's you. Well, the surefire giveaway, that'd be you, and obviously be. Say, Mike, is that you? Okay.
Yep.
Are you going to slap me in the face?
Nope.
Have you been watching me for far too long? Okay. Some blind people, Mike, report. I love this. This is fascinating. Blind people who have experienced these near-death experiences report being able to see during their NDE.
Mm-hmm.
Psychiatrist Brian Weiss tells the story of a blind elderly woman. Now, this is in Mr. Weiss's words. She suffered a cardiac arrest during her stay in the hospital, where I was the chairman of the psychiatry department. She was unconscious as the resuscitation team tried to revive her. According to her later report, she floated out of her body and stood near the window watching the resuscitation. She observed without any pain whatsoever as they thumped on her chest and pumped air into her lungs. During the resuscitation, a pen fell out of her doctor's pocket and rolled near the same window where her out-of-body spirit was standing and watching. The doctor eventually walked over, picked up the pen, and put it back in his pocket. He then rejoined the frantic effort to save her. They succeeded. A few days later...
My pen! You're trying to save somebody's life and you got to stop. My pen!
My pen! You've got my pen. Now, a few days later, she told her doctor that she had observed the resuscitation team at work during her cardiac arrest. And the doctor said, he goes, no, he soothingly reassured her. He said, you probably were hallucinating because of the lack of oxygen to your brain. This can happen when the heart stops beating. But she said, no, I saw your pen roll over to the window, she replied. Then she described the pen and other details of the resuscitation. The doctor was admittedly shocked. The patient had not only been comatose during the resuscitation, but she had also been blind for the duration of her life. Explain that one, Mike.
Well, when you're in that spirit form and you're you're nothing. You have nothing to do with the physical part anymore. I mean, that's why people feel like they feel young again, or they feel just so alive. Even being that had just died physically, but that spirit is it's just reverts to just a perfect existence of no pain and all of that. And so,
thank you. No pain and all of that.
No pain and all of that, and a little bit more.
Are you ready for just a couple other tidbits
I'm
to hit
ready.
on here, Mike? We do have a Patreon episode to record, so God jeepers, we're already up to 45 minutes. Holy crap! Okay. This is an example of one of the most verifiable near-death experiences that has ever been recorded.
Ever.
One of the most medically documented near-death experiences ever recorded is the story of Pam Reynolds. In the early 1900s, Pam, a singer from Georgia, underwent a rare and extreme surgery to remove a massive aneurysm in her brain. To do so, the doctors had to stop her heart, drain the blood from her head, and cool her body down to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. She was placed into what is called hypothermic cardiac arrest. During that time, she had no measurable brain activity. Yep, no heartbeat, and no blood flow. That's all the doctors could hear, by the way. That's the only thing.
And also, very suddenly, no bladder control.
No bladder control. Clear! There it goes. She was clinically dead, Mike, by all definitions. Yet during this period, Pam described, again, floating above her body and watching her surgery. She recalled specific medical instruments, like a bone saw that resembled an electric toothbrush. Wow, that's a terrifying toothbrush. She heard a female voice comment on the size of her arteries. She described events and conversations that were later confirmed by the surgical team. Even though she should not have been able to hear or see anything, her eyes were in fact taped shut, and her ears were fitted with molded speakers that played loud clicking sounds to monitor brainstem activity. Yeah. Just like that. The volume was high enough to prevent her from hearing anything else, and her brain was flatlined on the EEG. She also, Mike, reported seeing a tunnel. She reported seeing deceased loved ones. And again, a sense of overwhelming peace and love before being pulled back. This has obviously been recorded as one of the most verifiable near-death experiences. Her brain, everything was clinically dead. She should not have any ability to, quote-unquote, see or hear or experience any of this.
Absolutely.
So again, explain that one, Mike.
It is totally from the soul's perspective. I mean, it's what.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's just the body. It's not what you really are. It's your soul afterwards, and you still experience life.
So, just for argument's sake,
existence.
Let's say this is all purely physiological, and it's just something that everyone experiences. Who are put in a similar situation. So explain to me then, scientists, how our brain is somehow able to see outside of our body then, and see others outside of us, and hear others outside of us. The power of the brain is amazing, but I didn't know it could actually transport itself 10 feet to the ceiling and turn around and say, hey, look, there I am. I get it. There's still ongoing research. There always will be ongoing research. But if that is ever somehow scientifically explained, I will be flummoxed and flabbergasted. Anything else that begins with FL.
I don't think that it's possible to be explained scientifically. There isn't science to it, in my opinion. Yeah,
I know it's I suppose if you don't mind, Mike, I can wrap it up with that one. Really, this is really full of info, and I will do my flippin' best to make it as brief as I possibly can. But it's essentially talking
Okay.
about the activities of the brain, the dying brain, I should say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I shall skip for the purpose of time constraints the majority of this, but this is another well documented and written about near-death experience, and is noted here that this is not to say that their proving consciousness is radically different from what we thought it was. Instead, it is that the process of a dying brain is far stranger than scientists ever suspected. Maybe spiritualists and doctors and all that stuff could actually kind of meet in the middle ground on this one, is what I'm saying. This is referring to patient one. She was taken off oxygen. The moment she was taken off oxygen, there was a huge surge of activity in her dying brain. Areas of her brain that had been nearly silent while she was on life support suddenly thrummed with high-frequency electrical signals called gamma waves. We've heard about those before. In particular,
Isn't that
the parts...
what created the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, gamma ray, something like that. Gamma waves, sure.
I don't know.
He was talk about an overdose of gamma. Far too much gamma.
Yeah, and Bill Bixby.
And
that combination.
Too much gamma and too little Bill Bixby.
Yeah. The balance was off.
The balance was off. In particular, the parts of the patient's brain that scientists consider a, quote, hot zone for consciousness became dramatically alive. In one section, the signals remained detectable for more than 6 minutes. In another, they were 11 to 12 times higher than they had been before the patient's ventilator was removed. So the brain is going nutso cuckoo here.
So
the moment she's removed from the ventilator, the oxygen has been removed. Yeah, sorry, Mike.
So is it like once you begin to actively die, does that flip a switch where this kicks in for whatever reason? I mean,
yeah. Well, again, skeptics would say it's a biological method of self-preservation. Just to protect you as much as you can during these horrifying, fearful moments that preclude your oncoming death.
It would have to be totally automatic and involuntary, because when you're actively dying, do you have the time or even the forethought of thinking these things? I mean, So this is where it gets kind of tricky and interesting. As she died, patient one's brain was functioning in a kind of hyperdrive, the doctor told the reporter. For about 2 minutes after her oxygen was cut off, there was an intense synchronization of her brain waves, a state associated with many cognitive functions, including heightened attention and memory. The synchronization dampened for about 18 seconds, then intensified again for more than 4 minutes. It faded for a minute, then came back for a third time. In those same periods of dying, different parts of the patient's brain were suddenly in close communication with each other. That's interesting. The most intense connections started immediately after her oxygen stopped and lasted for nearly 4 minutes. There was yet another burst of connectivity more than 5 minutes and 20 seconds after she was taken off life support. In particular, areas of her brain associated with processing conscious experience, areas that are active when we move through the waking world and when we have vivid dreams, these areas were in fact communicating with those involved in memory formation. I know that this gets really wordy, I get it. So were parts of the brain associated with empathy. Empathy. Highly active the moment her brain or moment oxygen was removed from her. Even as she slipped irrevocably deeper into death, Mike, something that looked astonishingly lifelike was taking place over several minutes within her brain.
So that's just scientific measurements. Something, as they describe as astonishingly lifelike, is going on in her brain for up to 5 minutes or more after she was removed from oxygen.
So during this time of all of that activity, would they could probably equate that to the near-death experience itself of when that person is experiencing the tunnel and the light and everything. I would imagine. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have to continue reading this real quick. Just
Go ahead.
Hopefully it sheds a little light. Now, these glimmers and those glimmers and flashes of something like life contradict the expectations of almost everyone working in the field of resuscitation science and near-death studies. The predominant belief was that as soon as oxygen stops going to the brain, neurological activity falls precipitously. Although a few earlier instances of brain waves have been reported in dying human brains, nothing as detailed and complex as what occurred in patient 1 had ever been detected. So it's the aforementioned Pim van Lommel. He's mentioned again in this one. I shall call him Pim.
Pim.
Dutch cardiologist Van Lommel asserted that patient 1's brain activity can shed no light on near-death experiences because her heart hadn't fully flatlined, but that is a self-defeating argument. There is no rigorous empirical evidence that near-death experiences occur in people whose hearts have completely stopped. At the very least, patient 1's brain activity seems to close the door on the argument that the brain always and nearly immediately ceases to function in a coherent manner in the moments after clinical death. The brain, contrary to everyone's belief, Mike, is actually super active during cardiac arrest. Death may be far more alive than we ever thought possible. That's from a medical paper. Death may be far more alive than ever thought possible. Now, that might be their kind of wordy way of making it sound like they're a little open-minded to it, but well, how did you interpret that? How did you interpret all those big old words and lengthy, verbose readings I shared with you?
To me, it just sounds like they're still just trying to justify that it is something totally physical, and nothing spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of right. I get you. Nothing physiological, nothing that is simply not explainable by science. But I can't just the personal experiences. And I ask you listeners too. I mean, maybe Mike and I are just really ignorant when it comes to this, but help explain to me the visions, the out-of-body experience, floating above your body. I don't know why that one sticks out to me so much, Mike, but explain that one to me. You can't.
Well, it's your soul. It's your spirit, your ghost, if you want to put it that way.
Yep. And how often do we hear about near-death experiencers saying they're like saddened or they don't want to come back? They're so engulfed with love and they're so comfortable and at peace. They're like, no, I'm good. I don't need to go back.
Yeah, it's like everything's perfect and any pain that they had is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just nothing that can compare to it. They, the way everything looks and everything, it's just amazing. And they don't want to leave. They don't want to go back to that pain that they were in.
Going full circle, Mike, I hope that you don't experience one in the upcoming weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
When they take that bone saw shaped toothbrush and start carving at your
vertebra,
arteries, and your vertebra.
My arteries.
Well, hopefully they avoid your arteries. But
they go out. They're going through the throat in the front, and I just think, boy, that's pretty damn close to that carotid artery.
Yes.
They got to know what they're doing.
And just a heads up for longtime listeners, and hopefully we're gaining new longtime listeners each and every episode, right, Mike? Just a heads up, Mike's voice might be a little different. We don't know. There is a chance. They said there is a slight chance your vocal cords might be affected. Oh, you might come back sounding like Harry Belafonte. I don't know. It'd be great.
Harry Belafonte.
Okay, Sinatra. I don't know. Dean Martin. Pick and choose.
Dale.
Just as long as you don't sound like Jerry Lewis or something.
Lady.
Hey, lady. Just saying.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, yes. Everyone's going, please stop the torture. Yes, we are signing off, everybody. We didn't have an
Ay,
opening
ay.
ghost gab segment. I haven't had any experiences. Well, as usual, Mike, I don't believe has had any experiences lately.
Yes, I did
Oh my God!
yesterday,
Oh,
or was
great.
that
Well, we're
tonight?
gonna
No, it was last night.
we're gonna have a brief wrap up of a ghost. Brief wrap up of the episode by putting the ghost gab segment at the end. Please share, Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, it was very simple. It was like, very, it was very interesting. Okay, so I set up this table, this folding table in the living room because I was putting things on there that we're going to put on Marketplace, and I was looking for a tape measure so I could actually measure and get measurements of some of the pieces I'm going to put on, and so I can put that in the descriptions. Well, I thought, well, it's in a drawer here somewhere. I was looking through all these drawers, couldn't find it, and I hadn't seen it for, I don't know, a few weeks anyway. I thought just looking for it in different places. And so I didn't find it, and I just kind of let it go. And okay, so on the table that I had set up, there is this, I don't know, it's like you can buy that packing tape that's on a roll, and
Sure.
you pull it out and you got the thing. Okay, so there was one of them sitting on the table.
Sorry.
It's not funny. This is a true story.
God, it's just like I have to say tracheostomy again just to get you back on track.
Your colonoscopy and tracheoscopy of
Sorry.
and whatever. But anyway, so
Sorry,
that
go
was
ahead.
sitting there on the table, and there was nothing else on the table really, like where something could have been hidden or anything. And besides, I just put the table up. We did, and so yesterday when I was done with what I was doing, I was moving some stuff, and I picked up that tape thing, and the tape measure that I was looking for was underneath that. But that sounds like, well, maybe it was just stuck there or something. But no, we did not have the tape measure at any time when the table was set up. We used the tape for taping up a box, and we left the tape dispenser thing on there. And it's big enough to where in the middle, this tape measure is actually small enough to where it would fit in there really nice. So,
Wow.
when I picked up that tape thing, and there laying on the table was that tape measure that I looked everywhere for, that I hadn't seen in weeks and did not find. Here it is on the table.
Wow, there's no way that could have been there the whole flipping time.
There's
no way.
Absolutely no way. Because, it wasn't there when we set the table up. It wasn't there when we were, doing what we needed to do with it. But
did you sleepwalk by chance? Did you go and hunt out this roll of tape while you were unconscious?
No, I don't know. It's just weird. I can't.
Stuff like that is so bizarre, though, because it's just like little. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a little experience, but like seemingly mundane experiences like that.
Yeah,
could be something.
But it's so unexplainable.
Yeah,
because I did not find it, and it would have had to have, for that to have gotten there. If it would have been put there, it would have only been able to be Mary or I, and we would obviously remember if we picked that up and somehow we found the tape measure and put it on the table with the tape over it. Well, we obviously did not do that. It was just appeared.
That's
somehow.
Crazy.
But I was figuring it was probably my dad or something.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. It was either your dad or Mike. Just admit it. Both you and Mary fell off the wagon, and you were drunk as hell.
No, not me, not Mary. But yeah, that was interesting. Very simple little thing.
Yeah.
But I cannot debunk it. There's no possible way that I can think, well, this could have happened, because there is no other. This could have happened. It's just not there.
That's interesting. Well, anyway. Then I texted you that a couple of weeks ago, where I could have swore that my cell phone, which was sitting like a foot in front of me at the podcast station right here, I'm watching the football games off my monitor, and I swore that my phone got pushed and moved like about 2.5, 3 inches. turned and shifted, and I couldn't debunk it. I mean, I'm doing it right now with my phone. It's pretty heavy. It's no way it's going to move like that on its own. And there was no condensation there that made it kind of float or something. I don't know why there would have been condensation.
My phone hydroplaned across my desk.
Yeah, right. And so I don't know. The only thing that I thought of was maybe, I'm focused on the football game. Maybe I saw a bizarre reflection, something that was created on the monitor, reflected off of my phone screen, and provided the illusion that it spun.
Well, that sounds like a physically whole hullabaloo bullshit there.
But I reacted to it though, Mike.
Try to make it fit,
I'm telling you, I reacted to it. Okay, I'm looking at you right now. Our listeners can't see this, but I'm looking at you like I was looking at the monitor. My cell phone's down here. I go, whoa, like this, because I saw it. I thought I saw it.
Yeah.
Is that evidence? Of course, it's not evidence. Did I see anything?
No,
I don't know if I saw anything. But
you poo-poo it so quickly as, oh, did I see it? Well, I don't. Was it a reflection? Well, yeah, maybe. Have faith in what you see sometimes instead of needing to throw it out of your brain because it scares you so much to actually have to give in to realizing. I mean, you do believe it.
I do. Very much so.
You have that one little nudge that you need to have done that's left to be done before you go over the edge and you into total insanity because you know that it's real.
I know. That's the thing.
Join the
club.
Real,
and I believe in it. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Your day is coming.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to slap me. That's right. But I don't want that to be from you anytime soon. You got decades to go yet. You got decades to go.
I want it to happen at the Villisca that we are...
Well, I don't want you to die at the Villisca just so you can slap me. Oh, you're saying...
No, I want you to get your slap in the face at the Villisca.
I think if we're ensconced, there's that word again, at the Villisca, in pure darkness, no electricity, and we're already having some intense experiences and not happy ones, according to the history of that haunting, that house there. Right. And I get slapped in the face. I don't care what time it is, Mike. I think I'm saying, okay, we're out of here. I'm done. I believe everything. So,
we're heading north.
I don't care. Yeah, maybe we'll find the nearest hotel, or we're just hightailing it straight back to Minnesota and Enderlin. I don't know, but we shall see.
I don't know. But it's the whole thing is going to be worth it.
It's going to be awesome. And we will keep all of our listeners posted on that as well, because it is going to happen and we're stoked. Mike, this has been great. Gosh, we got over an hour now and we have time to throw together a pretty cool Patreon topic, another Patreon exclusive episode headed the way of our Patreon subscribers. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month and you have access to loads and loads and loads of content. Free episodes are available actually too. So it's growing by leaps and bounds, and we appreciate each and every one of you who gives our Patreon page a try. Over 120 exclusive episodes, boys and girls, you can't hear anywhere else. All right, Mike.
Boy, you're trying to sell that, aren't you?
I kept it as short as I could. I always feel like you want to punch me through the ether every time I do that.
Yeah,
it's a necessary
you were talking
evil.
So fast, I could see spit on the
your
screen.
I know. I'm trying to get it out there. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah. All right, Mike. As always, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for joining us, and a big thanks to all of our listeners. Mike, stick around. We got a Patreon episode to record. But until next time, my friend, what do our paranormal pals need to do?
That's all, folks. Peace out.